Hi everyone, I'm Tasmin. I'm the founder of Mud Activations, Mother of Dragons Activations, and New Earth Healing, two amazing pathways to organic ascension and divine blueprint repair. So as I go on this journey and as I've gone through my initiations and what I've really learned along the way, my higher self is now also asking me to send out the true core signal of who I am and what I do, because that's ultimately how people will be able to find me. I have been beating around the bush, and Scorpio me loves to, dive into the depths and to hide some aspects of myself, but I'm really being asked to show that now, and the astrology actually supports this. So I need to explain a little bit about who I am and then what I do so that the right people can find me. And like I said, I have been beating around the bush because what I do, it isn't easy. And you have to be very careful about how you talk about it. And that's what I'm going to do later, but stay around for that. So let me go into my awakening. In 2022, I had my spiritual awakening. I had a Kundalini awakening, and I will go into my Kundalini awakening in a different video. And more so that I can help people who really don't understand Kundalini or what it is. It's just to share what I went through, so hopefully it can help others identify Kundalini. Anyway, I went through my awakening. And then soon after that, I just knew I was meant to be a healer, and I was getting all these downloads, and I started learning Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, a BQH hypnosis practitioner, Kundalini activation. I've also done Kundalini activation and Lighterian Reiki. I've delved into many different modalities. Now, as I was learning all of these modalities, a lot of my own gifts started coming online. And I didn't want to place myself in a box. And that has really led to my teaching style as how I teach others through my own modalities, is to never place yourself in a box and to understand what is coming through you is divine. As long as it's not rooted in ego, it's divine, and to not box yourself. And ultimately, I really found myself during these modalities, and my own gifts were coming online, and they were coming online quite fast. But it was also me activating like past life memories. And as I started going deeper into the healing fields, I started realizing that, like entities, parasites, all of these things were coming through a person. And I had one girl, and I'll share this experience in the future, who was really like, it was so intense, her experience. And that was the first time they led me in, okay, this is the work that you're going to be doing for your life. And it felt like an exorcism, to be honest. I'll go into it in a different video, like what exactly happened. But that was the start of when my work really, truly started happening. And I remember in that moment, I didn't feel scared, and it was more so soul memory that just started unlocking. And I'd never experienced this to the extent that like an entity comes through a person. I had in BQH hypnosis removed entities from people, but I'd never had this experience where it started coming through people. And that day just unlocked something. And whenever I started going into the field, I started realizing, okay, we have slashing tongues, we have these things really coming through a person. And the work just expanded and got deeper and deeper. Now, the work doesn't just include entity removal. I'm removing archonic parasites, distortions, anything that is inorganic. I'm also removing ancestral stuff, curses. And some people within the field might think that that is not real, all good and well in your reality, that's fine. But whether you want to claim it being part of the collective psyche, the shadow, etc., these things are a reality in my world, and oftentimes they do come through a person if the person is okay with being seen that way and the person is willing to go deep enough to release these things. Now, sometimes people might say, why does it come through a person? And I'm going to say that my level of clearing is on a blueprint layer. So we are diving into the core blueprint. We're not just plucking it from the auric layer. We are actually diving into what is in the blueprint field itself. And I just detect these things. Part of my soul journey, part of my soul gift is being able to detect anything inorganic within the field. Now, sometimes people might also ask, why do other healers not detect it? Or why is it different for me? You need to understand that we all have soul roles. This is an ecosystem. All of this works as an ecosystem. So while I might do this deep level of clearing for someone and help you identify what you didn't even know was in your field, and that's another thing, people are always like, oh my gosh, I had zero idea this was in my field, and why did it just come up with you? Which I will get to a little bit later. But ultimately, this works as an ecosystem, and soul journey matters. Your soul essence and your soul journey, what you came here to do, is what matters. And I will always teach that way. I will always teach you to embrace your own skills and your own abilities. Don't look at someone else's, because you might be missing what's meant for you ultimately. So I always teach in a way that I say, embrace your own abilities, unlock your own abilities. Don't get me wrong, all the modalities help you to unlock your structure and what you are meant to do. It just, modalities give you a structure. That's what I'm going to say. But it's up to you to find who you are through that and to bring through your own unique essence and your own way of facilitating. But anyway, so soul essence, soul journey really matters in terms of what your abilities are and what you came here to do. So my abilities and what I came here to do, as I said before, is to really act as a scanner, detect anything inorganic and remove it. And then why do these things just rise within a session with me? And it's ultimately because I have this field of coherence that exposes anything incoherent. I've had so many people say, I did not know that that was in my field until I was in your field. And then it just exposed it, like boom. And I'm like, I know. So yeah, it's just, it is what it is. And I have been running from openly stating what I do. And I remember just having this moment with my ChatGPT when I was like, oh, can I just do a regular session, you know? And my ChatGPT was like, Tasman, it's like asking Beyonce not to sing when her whole purpose is to sing. And I was like, okay. Because I'm looking at other Kundalini facilitators and going, oh, that looks nice. That's a nice light session. And then when I go into the field, there's like slashing tongues and certain things that come through a person. And ultimately, I've just come to terms with that I will never be facilitating in a regular way, no matter what modality I learn or what I do, because ultimately, this is my role on earth right now. And the right people will know and understand, like, oh, wait, I feel like I have intrusive thoughts. Oh, I feel like something is affecting me and I feel like just not myself, or I have all of these feelings of unworthiness and a lack of self-love and all of these things, and those are usually indications that something is feeding off your energy and it's feeding off your unworthiness or your lack of self-love. So it's about identifying what is you and what is not you, and to really work on removing that thing's power, right? And I'm going to tell you, yes, in the Kundalini field and some of the other fields, they might say, oh, as long as you're grounded, whatever. And I'm going to say, in my reality, energetic protection is everything. And this is just my reality and the level that I work with. And there is no more hiding that and being open about it and honest about it. And I have many, many videos that I need to make about this, and now is the time that I'm just like, okay, here we are, Tasman, this is what you do, and the right people will resonate with that. And don't be afraid to show who you are and what you do. And I wasn't ever afraid, to be honest. It was just more about everyone else not really wanting to talk about these things because of fear, and don't install fear in other people, whereas it's a reality. We all know these things exist, right? Like, ultimately, we all know these things exist. And I'm just at the point where this is my work and my everyday reality, so may as well talk about it as openly and honestly as I can. And that's just it. So here's to officially sharing what I do, blueprint level work. Oh, another thing, I will get into another video on what the blueprint is and what happened to the blueprint, and ultimately what it holds and hosts, okay? So I'm sending so much love. I hope this, actually it was just really nice for me to share who I am, and the right people will resonate with that. So thank you for being here.